It's not until you start that you realise what an enormous project saving for a home is. I mean, it's essential to save hard and regularly and get a good return for your money. And now, at the ANZ Bank, we have a terrific new service that's designed to make buying your first home so much easier. The ANZ Home Savers Club. An easy-to-operate coupon savings scheme that pays a high 8% interest on balances over $500, with withdrawals on 1 month's call. And helps you qualify for the free $2,000 government home grant. You know, if you're already saving or about to start saving for a home, take a tip from someone who knows what it's like. Come into the bank and talk to us about the ANZ Home Savers Club. It'll be worth money to you in the long run. Or pick up the free book for the full story.
Nice house.
Yeah.
See Tasmania with Australian Pacific Tours.
This year, take a holiday from the resorts. This year, take a holiday from the resorts. Tasmania, the treasure island.
See it now in air-conditioned comfort with Australian Pacific Tours, the people with Mercedes. Stay at Lux Motels, 8 days from only $314. Australian Pacific Tours.
When the night time comes, head for Melbourne's Ace Rock and Roll Bar. At the Bebop, you get the lot. It's fully licensed every Thursday, Friday and Saturday night till 11:30, and your admission charge includes a great supper. There's parking for up to 200 cars underneath, a 2,000 disco, and Australia's major contemporary bands performing under ideal conditions. So, put on your dancing shoes and bop at the Bebop. The Beverly Crest Hotel, Berkeley Street, St Kilda, just 500 yards from the junction.
Tonight, Stylists. Wednesday, the Thunderbirds. Thursday, Stars. And Friday, the Ferrets.
Superrest began making mattresses in 1934, 43 years ago. That's a long time, a lot of experience. So rest assured, Superrest is about the best mattress you can buy, whichever way you look at it, including price. Why not take a look at their latest model? For the sort of nights you have, don't you need Superrest?
The Carol Lloyd Band is a band that was around for quite some time out of Brisbane. The band is now defunct or split or whatever you want to call it. And with me tonight I've got Carol Lloyd and also a guy who's instrumental in what she'll be doing in the future, and that's Colin Peterson, who's been around the Australian rock and roll industry and the overseas one for quite some time. Welcome both of you tonight, Moves. Well, I guess we should talk about why the two of you are actually appearing here tonight. Would you like Colin maybe or Carol to explain the reason?
Well, the beginning probably came about 14 months ago when Colin signed as A&R manager for EMI, us as a Carol Lloyd band to a contract.
Yeah.
And during that time he's sort of watched our progress, and he's since become an independent production company. And the result being that Colin and I have tonight signed a contract, a 4-year worldwide contract as a solo deal, and he's the man. Which is excellent.
A lot of people I know, specifically from Brisbane in particular, have been wondering what's Carol going to do now that the band's not about. So there's your answer. She's going to get into it with Colin Peterson over the next 4 years, not in a production capacity. Yeah. Before we go into the details of that, can I ask you what you've been doing since the band broke up? Apart from getting all this together, obviously.
Well, I've kind of had to survive for the last 3 months since I moved down to live for a while here in Melbourne. And my occupation before I got into music was advertising. I was a writer of commercials, which probably means I get lots of spears in the heart from the viewers. But I've been doing that since I was about 15, and I've been working for a company, an advertising company called John Clemenger here in Melbourne. And it's been a nice tie-in to jingle work and music and advertising, and it's worked very well, and Colin has come along with this good contract, which means that the future for me
starting
looks
to look
pretty
nice.
good.
Were you worried for a little while there, like at the particular period when the band did break up? Were you thinking, oh well, we tried?
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, but I think it's probably important to point out that we put the band together as a professional unit. The guys in the band were all session players, and we agreed to go into a recording thing together.
Yeah.
And when that particular contract ended, we naturally sort of went our separate ways. I decided to come down here for a while, and it was sort of advantageous that Colin was interested in recording here.
Yeah.
And taking on another deal.
Well, Colin, I'll talk to you about that. Like Carol just said, when the recording contract with the company finished, so did the band. Now, you're obviously taking a different tack on this by an independent production deal with Carol. Would you like to explain exactly what that entails?
Well, it's the overseas record industry is based on independent production companies.
Yeah.
And the advantages of that are many, but in the main advantage is the more people that are involved in the development and involvement with artists, the better.
Yeah.
And the more people who believe in the artists, the better. Also, an independent production company, you have possibly 1, 2, 3 artists that the producer is entirely involved with at any specific time. With most major companies, there's an endless number of artists signed to the company. And I think personal involvement is such an important part of the record industry that the independent production side of the industry will become much more important in Australia as years go by.
Yeah, you think it's going to start taking on the aspects that it has overseas?
Certainly.
What do you see Carol as being over the next 4 years? Or Carol, either of you can answer this. Are you going to be
Well, I'm not
changing your
here.
image a little bit, or like you've always been a raging rock and roll lady?
Well-
Even in the ballads that you've done, you've always done a full-on sort of approach to it. Are you going to maintain that same sort of style, or what?
Well, I can't see that I'd be changing style, in that it's something that comes natural to you. You don't set out to achieve a style.
Yeah.
You just hope to find one along the way. I think myself, and Colin could reiterate this, I think it's probably an area that Colin was interested in when he was first interested in the band. I think things won't change a great deal. We'll record material that's suited to both our ears,
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll be something that people are going to like. But I don't intend to change in any way.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for the future, huh?
Let's hope.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure the people in Brisbane in particular will be very pleased with what they've heard tonight, because the Carol Lloyd Band is a band that's been around the country for quite some time, always done big things in Brisbane, but never had the recognition I believe you should have had down south as far as Brisbane is concerned. So I just hope everything goes really well for the two of you over the next 4 years, and maybe even longer than that. We've dragged out a really old Carol Lloyd Band clip to run tonight. One of the very few that are about I've Got the Music. Do you want to just tell us something about that and we'll run it? Okay?
Well, actually, there is a minor story to that one. It was pretty important at the time. Colin had just signed us to our contract.
Yeah.
And he felt that it would be beneficial to us to do a 20-minute of live performance.
Yeah.
And this particular clip is a segment from a thing we did for 4ZZZ in
Brisbane,
Queensland, in Brisbane. And this was filmed at the university about 15 months ago.
Must be that.
Right. Well, let's have a look at it right now, okay? And best of luck in the future. Watch out for Carol Lloyd as a solo performer. And Colin and Carol, thanks very much for coming in tonight.
Thank
Here's
you.
Carol Lloyd with her band right now, and I've Got the Music.
Ain't got no troubles in my life. No foolish dreams make me cry.
We're moving forward all the time. Cortina is here today.
Here's a new breed of sporty action. New Breed Cortina with optional GS Rally Pack, including driving lights, alloy wheels, intermittent wipers, sports wheel and instruments. Really sporty. New Breed Cortina with optional GS Rally Pack.
Hey kids, next time you're told to go fly a kite, here's the kite to fly. The Astro Kite, first designed by Alexander Graham Bell. It's a lot of fun to put together, safe to fly. And if your Astro Kite falls to the ground, it springs apart instead of breaking. Astro Kites, the new fun kite to fly. Available now.
A great way to enjoy life with the Astro Kite, only $8.98.
Rockbuster 77. 20 original hits, 20 original stars, including rock aria ELO. Love Has No Pride, Daryl Braithwaite. Stares and Whispers, Renee Gaya. Get Up and Dance, Supercharged. TMG, Lucille, Kenny Rogers. Magic Man, High. Magazine, Madonna, Sherbet. And 12 more smash hits. Rockbusters 77. Just $5.99, album and cassette through festival.
Like a good wine, a rock and roll hotel improves with age. And when it comes to rock and roll pubs, the Prospect Hill Hotel in Kew is your genuine vintage stuff. From back in the 60s, when traditional jazz music flowed through the Prospect's bars, through the early jazz rock years and right to what's going down today, the Prospect Hill is one of the foremost venues in rock and roll. The Prospect Hill Hotel in High Street, Kew. Tomorrow, Sydney Orion and Southern Transit. Next week, Orpheus, Sports and Ride.
Depending on whether you live in a flat or a house or something like that, turn up your volume right now because the guy we've got on is the sort of performer you've got to hear loud. The guy is Frankie Miller, who was discovered by Robin Trower and also a guy called Clive Bunker, who was the original Jethro Tull drummer, and discovered by those two guys when they were looking for an player for their band called Jude. He joined that particular band. Things didn't really happen all that well. Recorded a few albums in the States with the guy who's produced the Dingoes album, a guy called Elliot Mazer. They didn't really do all that much until an album called Full House. Now, the Full House album is not to be confused with the J. Giles Band album, but that's an album that really got Frankie Miller happening overseas. His sort of appeal in Australia isn't really all that big right now, but you never know. Let's have a listen to a track from that Full House album called Take Good Care of Yourself, right? Frankie Miller. Take good care of yourself and Frankie Miller on Night Moves. And right now I'd like to tell you what's coming up next week. We've nearly finished for another week. Next week we've got Emerson Lake, and it's not fanfare for the common man. We've got some footage from the Pictures exhibition movie to show you, and also there's some interview material in there too, so you'll get to hear them as well. We've got Blondie Bruce Johnson, who used to be in the Beach Boys, also worked quite a bit with Eric Carmen. He'll be coming in for a talk next week. Steel Ice Band, Dragon and Mother Goose from the concert that's on next Thursday in Melbourne, and tickets are still on sale for that at Celebrity Services, Maya, and at the Palais. We'll let you know more about that next week, how it went and all that stuff anyway. Johnny Winter, we've got a feature on Firefall. Split Ends will be dropping in for a bit of a rave. They've got a big tour coming up around Australia. And also Old 55 will be talking to Jimmy Manzi as well. That's next week on Night Moves. Take good care of yourself. We'll catch you again next week. We'll leave you tonight with Peter Gabriel and a track from his Peter Gabriel album and the new single for the guy, Modern Love. See you later.
Romance is out of fashion. Can't handle modern